Okay, so trade recap for today's trading, 11th of August 2026. So for today, I was originally bearish, but I ended up switching my bias to, or my bias, yes, and took a long trade. As you can imagine, yeah, it was lost. Look at all this, you know, bearish price action for the day. Well, going into the day, I noticed that price on Monday had traded into this level of liquidity from that it swept on what was this on Wednesday's trading. So we trade there and close within previous Friday's range. That was good enough for me to look for the bearish or just the bearish on the daily on the daily. And we have this fair value gap here from this candle's low to this candle's high. I noted that going into the day, but I ended up taking a long for the day. So let's go into the 1 hour time frame. So on the 1 hour time frame, this fair value gap here is the fair value gap on the daily. You can see that on the 1 hour. So for me to have been bearish for the day, I would have preferred to see the regular power of three, so an immediate move to the upside, and then price trading lower. Let me just put this on. So an immediate move to the upside and price trading lower. But what price did here instead was had an immediate move to the downside into that fair value gap on the daily. So this is basically the power of three that I would be expecting for a bullish day. But we don't see price trade bullish for the day, it trades bearish. But this will be the power of three I'll be expecting for a bullish day. So I saw this price respect this level, and as of the time 9:30 New York, price was also trading back down into that fair value gap, and it does respect it at 9:30. So let's go into this 15 minutes here. Okay, so here on the 15 minutes, this is this large down candle here is 9:30 open. So this candle here is 9:30, the 9:30 window, and this is 9:45. So you can see that price very well, and this is the overnight session, London session. So price trades into it on London, nice respect, trades higher, and then we get back down into that fair value gap level on during 9:30. So 9:30 respects the fair value gap. That was something I noted as to why I should be bullish for the day. And then 9:45 also respects the fair value gap. Now I would not have traded this bullish if price did not respect this fair value gap. And we can clearly see that it respected it here. I probably not have I would not have traded this bullish, but we get 9 o'clock respects, 9:30 respects, and furthermore we get 9:45 respect. So this next thing that I noticed was this SMT from this to this. I can also argue this from London's low to New York 9:35, London low to New York 9:35. Let's just use that instead. So notice this SMT at 9 during the 9 o'clock hour, while price is respecting a fair value gap. To me, all of that was just indicative of possible bullishness for the day. I also like the fact of going bullish because price had made all these not really equal highs, but to me it just looked like clear liquidity that could be taken right before a possible downtrend. So I was looking for price to essentially do this. So take out these highs, and after it takes out those highs, and just trade bearish. So that's what I was looking for. Did not end up getting it, but the logic, as I've explained earlier, the daily fair value gap, the 9:30 and 9:45 respects the SMT, all of those came together to basically frame my bias for the day. So let's go into the 1 minute where I took the trade. So yeah, all right. So I went long on ES. I went long on ES without fair value gap with this. Where is 945? So now the price breaks 945 right here. This is 942. So from 10 o'clock, where is 10 o'clock? So this is 10 o'clock right here. Price broke the 945 high. Good enough for me for a trade. I went long immediately with this fair value gap in mind, as you can see from this the arrows. So I went long with that in mind. My stop was here, and you can just see how much price was consolidating. You can imagine what I was going through just watching this. But that is what I was looking at. 945 was broken above fair value gap, stop below or stops here. I don't know why because it just anyway. I was stopped with this from this low, and you can see that price just tapped it. Immediately I saw this, and I saw this. I went back to the chart around here, so I saw it just tap the stop, and I was like, oh my god. But it ended up completely reversing. So I guess the entire bias on the day was was not was not in line with price. And the reason why I traded ES instead of NQ was because ES was the leading in the SMT. So that is just the trade. What could I have done better? I definitely believe that. Let's go back to the 15 minutes. I believe that I should have waited or looked for a better move from the 945. Although 945 does what I would like to see, not really what I would like to see. So I shouldn't have really taken this trade. I prefer to see a 945 close above the 930 or at least trade up to the 930 high and make a 1 hour sweep. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. So this is the 9 o'clock hour. So if price was able to trade higher at least here, then that would have been better for a that should what I should basically base my trade on when I'm using the 945 as the building the strategy I'm building for it. Yeah. So something like what 9 o'clock does on NQ here, I should wait for I should have a higher close essentially than this if I'm trading the 945 strat. But I saw other factors could have played into that played into the reason for me being long today and price trades bearish. So what I could have done better once again is, you know, essentially follow the 945 strategy, look for a higher 945 close. But that's basically the trade for today. Not much. I mean, it's much to me, but not much going on after that. Price has on the daily, price has been able to if completely close in this fair value gap. So the next level I'm looking for possibly is this rejection block here, or it's the same level, this fair value gap, this fair value gap right here. So that was the trade. Uh, the loss. Thank you for watching.